Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and this is Easily Knitfluenced. And this is my January pattern roundup. If you're new here, I do these monthly. This is just a collection of sometimes new, but sometimes not new, sometimes just new to me, patterns that have crossed my feed, be it on Instagram or on Ravelry or other sources, and I just compile them on a monthly basis and share whatever I liked with you guys. So we're going to jump into it. I will say, I feel like this was kind of a light month in terms of just patterns that cross the feed. I don't know if everyone's just taking a break after the holidays because same. But I feel like usually I'm having to really cut down the number of things that I talk about for these roundups. And this month I didn't really need to do that. So let's get started. So I have my laptop here. I've also got a couple on my phone for patterns that are still in testing. So I'll include pictures from my Instagram where appropriate. Okay, and as always, I will include pictures and a link to a bundle down below. So you don't have to bother about taking notes or anything. All right, let's get started. First up, we have the Grace sweater, and this is by V-neck. I think that's the correct pronunciation. This is very cool. And this seems to be, and I know why I was drawn to it. She actually says it's designed, inspired by Marianne Isayer's sweater, one of her sweater patterns from the 80s and 90s. So that's why I like it. I kind of like anything that Isayer was producing at the time. So very cool. This is a DK weight pattern. Suggested yarn is Isayer Jensen. And looks like this is a classic top-down drop shoulder pattern. So if you like color work, I feel like this is a fun pattern. I also, looking at it, it doesn't say in the description, but I'm eyeballing it. I don't think there's any floats here that would be too long. So I am not the best with long floats. If you are not either, maybe this is one to consider if you want to do an all-over color work that doesn't involve crazy long floats and catching them and all that stuff, which I don't love. So very beautiful pattern, and kind of Nordic, but not, I don't want to say too Nordic. That sounds mean. I don't want to, it's not stereotypically Nordic, I think. So while I think it's giving a nice nod to that design style, it isn't aggressively Nordic, as in, you know, some of those Nordic sweaters I feel like are pure ski sweaters. This isn't that. Very cool. Here is a fun one, and the reason I was drawn to this, well, firstly, it's Irene Lynn. I love Irene Lynn. This is the Avely hood. I want to give a shout out here. I don't have it with me because it's downstairs in my drop box for all my outdoor stuff, but I have been loving the Harris hood that I knit, I think a year and a half ago at this point. I didn't really wear it last winter because it never got that cold, but now I'm in New York. It's absolutely freezing. It's frigid, and I wear that thing daily. So I am all over hood talk at the moment. I'm like, I need more hoods. Because clearly it's a type of garment that I really wear. So that Harris hood is getting daily wear, and this looks cool too. It's kind of a scarf hood type of situation, and I even have a yarn in mind for it. This says it's DK. I would probably, so I bought this, what do you call it? Like one of those yarns, the little loops on it, and I tried knitting a hat out of it. It's been kind of a disaster, which I will detail that in my regular podcast episodes. But yeah, this is more of a classic, just simple, plain hood, and it can kind of dangle or be over your back. So very cool and a simple design. So I feel like this could be quite easy to just mindlessly knit on while I'm commuting or something like that. So yeah, I'm all over hoods these days, loving it. Okay, here's a big designer. The Ava jacket by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and specifically the light colored version. Oh, this is the picture from the back. I'm going to insert this picture. I love this. It looks like newsprint, which I think is the intention, and it's so cool. The line that goes across the back and down the back of the sleeve. Incredible. I love this oversized fit. I'm just trying to see what yarn she knit this out of. Okay, it's all Isayer yarns, and one's an alpaca. Ugh. You know, I don't love alpacas, but anyway, this is a bulky weight pattern. So 15 stitches per 15 stitch gauge. So that's pretty good. US 9, 5.5 millimeter suggested needle size. you know, this could be a quick knit. I don't think I have anything in stash at the moment that would work for this, but I'm bookmarking this one maybe for next winter because it's beautiful. And I would want to pick the exact right yarn for this. I mean, honestly, I would probably just replicate this exact picture as closely as I could without putting the alpaca yarn in it, because how beautiful is this? I can't. It's so pretty. Yeah, I mean the dark one's great too. Don't get me wrong, but this light colored one just reminds me of a newspaper, and it is everything. Oh right, some shawls. I'm back into shawls again. Feeling the shawls. This is the Fernfield wrap by Lisa Hannes. Looks like a couple of fingering weight yarns held together for a DK weight, and it's this very pretty cabley, lacy kind of eyelet design. Very, very pretty. And let's see, yardage. Oh, it's only one size. It's 525 meters, so just under 600 yards of yarn. So maybe 2 skeins of something could work. And yeah, you know, the triangle scarves are everywhere right now. I'm not so into the triangle scarf, but I am really into the shawl thing again. I'm sort of getting over my aversion to scarves and shawls, and it's really coming back into my knitting consciousness. So this one's really pretty. It reminds me a little bit of kind of patterns on sand. I know it's called ferns, but it's sort of like the pattern that you see on sand once a wave has gone by. It's beautiful, lovely. So yeah, well, I have so many shawls and scarves on my list, but I will pick one at one point to do. They are so pretty. Okay, here's one that might surprise you because it's kind of all over. It's not all over cables. It's sort of cables. This is the Sandro V-neck pullover by Flaminia Laura Chinney. DK weight pattern again, and this is worked top down, drop shoulder. So type of construction I like. And you know what it is I like about this? It's got that collegiate style a little bit. Just like my Carlotta sweater, which I will feature in my next podcast episode that I'm churning through. I'm loving that preppy kind of look right now. And she's got a couple pictures. There's the light blue color. She has a green one, which looks really collegiate. I would love this in a black, a white. It's very pretty, and it's got cables, but not too many cables, because the classic all over cable look, I've done it. And those sweaters just, I don't know what it is. I find them very boring and kind of annoying to make, and then I also don't wear them. So double whammy there. Doesn't really work. This though, I feel like I wouldn't get too bored, and it gives that little something, the cables, without being too cabley. So this is very pretty. Something very different, and I don't feature Aegyo Knit that much. I don't really know why. I do quite like a lot of her patterns, but this one really spoke to me. This is the Volare blouse. Relatively new. This was published a couple months ago. And this is wow, okay. It's a light fingering suggested yarn weight, but a 22 stitch gauge. So I guess you're really knitting light on this. Delicate blouse, dolman sleeves. It's very pretty. Very 80s again. Maybe I'm feeling the 80s stuff. And then yes, this looks like another, let's see, is this a drop shoulder? Yeah, it looks like a drop shoulder pattern. This is very pretty. For spring, maybe? I do have some mohairs kind of lying around that maybe I could do this. I don't know. I need another lace weight yarn. So I'll have to think about how I do this, but it's very pretty. Very, very pretty. And a little bit of a departure, I feel like, from her usual style, which tends to be sort of chunkier cables, chunkier garments. This one looks very light and delicate, so very interesting from her. Here's one I'd never heard of before. Somebody, I think this fluttered across my my Instagram feed, maybe in stories. I can't remember. This is the Koselig by Isabella Clark, and this is a couple years old now. This was published in 2022, so yeah, definitely not new, but this is really cool. It's a reverse stockinette, and then it's got these Latvian braid details along the button band, and it looks like the shoulders are, this patterning on the shoulder is kind of, oh yeah, it's like perpendicular to the reverse stockinette. It's really, really cool. And this is also a bulky weight, 14 stitch gauge on a US 10 needles, so 6mm. So again, should hopefully be able to get this done pretty quickly, but it's very, very cool. Yeah, I'd never seen this before, and I really love the look of it. I've never done reverse stockinette garment, but this looks fun. And I love the coloring again that they've picked here, but there's a lot of sample pictures with other colors. This is very pretty. And yeah, not a designer that I've ever heard of. So check them out. Here's a really simple one, but it's cute. This is the brushed loop hat by Other Loops. You know I love Other Loops. And again, I think, so it says a DK weight. I feel like this is kind of a, and she's done this in a couple of different yarns, and all of them look sort of fuzzy. So this might be a case of me finding some leftover mohair maybe and pairing it with something. Because yeah, it does say a 21 stitch gauge. So, but it's cute, and it has a nice thick brim. I like that. In a hat that's not tall, I need a thick brim because I have a giant head. And if I don't have that, it looks kind of like, it just looks short on me. It looks weird. It needs to be balanced by a thick brim. So this is fun. And it's worked bottom to top, which is my preferred way of doing it. So with garments, I'm like, it needs to be top down. With hats, I'm like, no, bottomed up. So yeah, not consistent, but double hem. It's really pretty. I love both versions of this, the brown and the white. Very cute. So again, my list of hats that I want to make is like as long as my arm, and this is going on it. Oh, and speaking of things that, you know, are going on my list, which is getting longer and longer, this is the pierogi mitt. Susanna Pabin is the designer, and oh gosh, it's so cute. When I first saw this picture on Instagram, I'm like, what is this? And then I figured it out. I'm like, oh, it's a mitten. And it's such a cute construction. It's like no mitt I've ever seen before, and it's so fun. And this looks like a fingering weight project. So whatever fingering weight yarn you've got lying around will do. This would be so cute, I think, as a gift, because it's something kind of like, you know, mitts or anything are always fun as gifts, but I think this is kind of fun and unique, and I feel like would get a laugh out of anybody that you gave it to. So because yeah, it says here, because who doesn't like pierogi? Yeah, true. Super cute. And looks like it doesn't require, okay, maximum yardage it says is 200 meters. So you could do both of these with like one ball of knitting for olive, or sadness garn, fingering weight merino, for example, and you'd get both like the biggest size out of these. So that's pretty good in terms of yardage. All right, moving right along. Very different. And I gotta be honest, I don't know if I'm brave enough to attempt this. This is in Tarja. It's the Umei sweater, which means sea in Japanese. I don't know if that's intentional. The designer here is Nina Bourne. Just published this month. It's an Aran weight project, and it's all in Tarja. And it looks like everything is knit bottom up separately. Each piece is separately knit, which I don't mind, oddly enough. I don't love knitting bottom up when it's all one piece, like back and forth or, you know, in the round. But when it's in pieces and seamed, for some reason, I don't find it as intimidating. So, but what I do find intimidating here is the intarsia. So I don't know. It's a little scary, but it is very pretty. And I love this color combo. It's very seaside coastal town kind of vibe, and I'm here for it, but I am intimidated. I don't know. Intarsia knitters, let me know how hard or easy this looks, please. All right, we've got another cardigan. This is, again, Irene Lynn, so she is cranking them out lately. This is the Aven cardigan. And again, it's kind of collegiate, right? Like, this is a little preppy, not aggressively so, but it's very pretty with the two-tone colors. And it looks like the yarn she's used for this is sort of a fluffier yarn. It's the Mayo Garn Puno Fine. And it says it's a worsted weight, which I don't know, but I think it's kind of giving a lightweight knit. Yeah, a 20 stitch gauge. And it's just cute. I just love this. I feel like it's very versatile. You could wear this up, dress it up for work, dress it down, you know, with sweatpants or jeans or something for the weekends, depending on your color combo. And it's just really cute and simple, I think, but something that you will wear a lot. So who doesn't love that? Something that is absolutely not simple, and yeah, the order that I've saved these in is interesting because I've gone from like very difficult to simple. So this is one that looks hard. This is Old Town Story Sweater by Natalie Pellick. Oof, this looks hard, but it also looks beautiful. This is all over aggressively cabled sweater. I honestly, I'm not good enough at cables to know what type of cabling work this is, but all I know is it's lovely. It says worked seamlessly from the neck down, and yeah, it looks like this is a drop shoulder pattern. Yeah. And this is a DK weight pattern, and there's not a whole lot of information about the cabling. So until I buy this pattern, I'm not going to know much more, but all I know is it's gorgeous and I want one, but I know this will take me 6 months to make. So I'm scared, but it is lovely. Yeah, these beautiful flower pictures that she's put up, oh, stunning. But could I make this realistically and not have it take 9 months? I don't know. Let me know if you recognize this cable pattern, guys. I certainly don't, but I'm sure there's people out there who are more versed in cables that have a better idea of what's going on here. I just know it's pretty. Oh, I should have put this with the other egg unit. So here's an egg unit pattern that is still in testing, it looks like, as of 5 days ago. This is the Largo cardi. And I really love this. Again, it's got her style in it, you know, with the sort of the chunky cables, like singular or double cables. But it's a lot less cable forward, I think, than some of her other patterns, because they're a little bit tucked away on the sides here, and you're really letting the rest of the cardigan shine. I love this. And I don't normally gravitate that much towards her stuff, so maybe she's just altering her style a little bit. I've got 2 patterns from her in this roundup, so that must be saying something. All this says is, let's see, she's putting the last finishing touches to the Largo cardi, and it's only translations left. So pattern should be coming out soon. We'll keep an eye on this one because it's beautiful. Really lovely. And then here's another one, which I saw this and I was like, oh my God, I need this in my life. This is by Nash Knits. And looks like this is still in testing. This is the Jasmine Jacket Adult. So Nash Knits, I believe, does a lot of patterns for kids. And I think she has this exact style in like a little kid style. And this is the adult version. Because obviously people saw that first one and said, I need this for myself, not my children. And she answered that demand. And this is so cute. This is screaming Cezanne to me. It looks so high-end. I don't know what yarn she's used here, but it's... Oh, okay, let's see. Charisma by Drops. Beautiful. Not a yarn I've used before, but this one's in testing. I'm keeping a close eye on it because this is absolutely something I would wear both casually and to the office and just generally in life. It's beautiful. And, you know, if you love knitting kid stuff, check out her page because there's tons of beautiful patterns on there for little kids. I'm just a very selfish knitter and I don't like knitting things for my children because they get destroyed. So I tend to just knit things for knit-worthy adults like myself. And last but not least, my addiction to buying books is really tugging at me, and I'm still on a no buy, so I'm not going to buy this yet, and I don't think it's even out yet, but this is the 52 Weeks of Sweaters from Lina. You know what it is? I buy a book from them, and I kind of satisfy that itch, and then all of a sudden, because the algorithm knows that I bought a book from them, I get picture after picture of whatever is coming next, and this is what's coming next, and I'm all over this. Go on their page and check out the pictures if you haven't, but there is another book coming, 52 Weeks of Sweaters. I don't know who can do a sweater in a week, probably nobody, but if that's a challenge you want to set yourself, knock yourself out. So this is beautiful and might be coming home with me once my no-buy is over. Oh, and here we go. Okay, so this is actually available to order already now. So if, unlike me, you are not on a no-buy, you can bring this home with you now and tell me what you think of the patterns. Judging from the pictures, this is totally up my alley and is just gorgeous and features some designers that I really like and admire. So that's on my list once the no-buy ends, which TBD on the timing for that. But that's it for this month, guys. Quick little roundup here for January. Like I said, kind of a light month this month. I didn't have to cut down too much on what I saw, but I'll leave the pattern link down below. If you've knit any of these, tell me. I'm very curious always to hear from people who've actually knit some of these things that I'm featuring because all I see are pictures, so, you know, all I can judge is how it looks in the glossy picture. I have not tested any of these, obviously, so if you have, please give me a shout out in the comments. And in the meantime, thank you all so much for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. If you are living anywhere near where I am, stay warm, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.